All right, we're rolling, we're action, we're live, and
Go. Meanwhile, in downtown Leominster.
yeah. Hey, what up?
How are you? You're
know-
not talking into your mic.
Hello.
See, now that's going to drive our TD crazy. Anyways,
Hello.
I'm good. How are you?
I didn't ask you how you were. Just FYI,
Shots
because no,
fired.
it's not shots fired. It's just like actually give me a chance to be polite. Don't assume I'm going to be polite because
That's
I'm
true.
just not really that polite in general. I'm kind
Typically,
of a
no.
rude bitch.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But we love you anyway.
Thank you.
At least some of us do.
V doesn't.
I'm full of love, guys. I only have love in my heart.
V thinks I'm a jackass.
No, I think you're a jack of all trades.
Ooh, good one.
Anyways.
Stop doing hand signals.
Gang signs on the camera. Welcome to the podcast.
Woo!
I'm Tony.
And I am her sidekick, Rochelle.
We are in great company today
We are indeed.
because it's familiar,
It is familiar. Yeah.
as in family, La Familia.
La Familia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't speak any other languages. Almost didn't get my PhD because of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a requirement?
I had two language exams I had to pass.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gosh, you didn't tell me that. Maybe I won't go for
Don't
my
do
PhD.
it. I highly recommend that you not.
Yeah, but then I can't.
I'll
Then
call
no
you
one will.
doctor. I will. I'll
You
just
will?
call you that. Yeah. I'll just
Okay.
call you doctor.
All right.
Yeah, it's like vanity plates.
I'm
Are they worth
excited.
it? No, they're not worth it.
I'm excited.
You're excited?
I am.
About what?
That you're going to call me doctor.
Oh, okay.
I just want to know, like, what language? What language test?
Oh, the German one I did pass. And
Okay.
then French I took like 300 times.
No way, parlez-vous français?
I just can't do it.
Wait, why did you do Spanish?
I think it had to be.
Rochelle grew up in a different time.
The whole point was
We grew up in the same time.
I know, but you're a POC, so you were.
Yeah.
And aren't you from the Cayman Islands?
No,
Tell them where you're from, Tony.
I grew up in the Virgin Islands.
Thanks.
Suddenly he's talking like a game show host. Tell him where you're from, Tony.
Jonah Pishkin is our guest today.
Yes, he is.
A FSU alum, which means we're going to get some FSU
Yeah,
love
FSU
this
love.
week for this podcast. We actually graduated in the same class, class of 25. I'm 25 years old. I'm sure you're close to that.
31.
You're 31.
31?
Okay. You're sticking to
I feel
that.
like I'm 70.
And you're looking great for 70. I might add.
Yeah, legit.
You are an award-winning screenwriter, producer, sharpening his pen by continuing to write screenplays and sending them to screenplay competitions. And you have been successful in that.
I have, yes.
You have won the Screenwriting Hot 100 winners.
Yes, I have.
And you know, we have a great treat for you today, but we're not going to tell you yet.
Right.
It's going to come up.
I bet you're.
But we haven't done this yet on the show.
You're right. We haven't.
We haven't done
but
this.
We'll do it again.
We will, but this is huge.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Don't
Jonah,
worry. There's no nudity.
Oh my God.
And here I was worried.
I figured.
Jonah,
Although at 31, I'm in pretty good shape.
The short of it calendar's coming out to a store near you.
oh my gosh, that would be an awesome calendar. Let's do it.
Yeah,
We should do that.
calendar. Woo!
2026. It's coming. Jonah, where are you from? What parts are you from?
So I am from a small town called Rockland, Massachusetts. I always usually just like to say that, like, oh, I'm from Boston. But then you get people from Boston be like, you're not from Boston, you're from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I was born in Weymouth.
Okay.
Raised in Rockland, and I've continue to be there for all of my life.
We love Rockland. I bank at Rockland Trust. I have already said this
have, like,
on the
you're
podcast.
repeating yourself.
One of our most recent guests was a Rockland native too. Do me a
Yes.
favor, speak closer to your mic.
Of course.
Thank you.
Now look who's in charge.
I can't do nothing.
No. So, and where did you get your love for filmmaking? Oh, wait, we also have to say, of course, that my esteemed co-host here was your academic advisor for your thesis.
Yes,
your
she
honors
was.
thesis.
And also my professor in many classes, some of which I don't remember, but definitely I know some of them. Pre-production being one of them. Yeah.
What kind of professor was she?
Not stern, but in like a good way. You feel like you can tell her like lots of elements about your story, and she's not going to be like, well, that sucks. Like, that's not good enough.
Gee, she does that to me all the time.
I used to bring in like pages of the thesis script, and at no point was she's like, this is awful. What did you bring me?
What is this? Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a good, honest answer. What got you in love with screenwriting?
Well, when I always knew like that I liked to tell stories. Like my passion was always like I wanted to give people something to be entertained by, because to me that's the most important job. Even if you're a director or writer, as long as one person is entertained, you've done your job successfully. And so I obviously come from a love of movies and television, and I feel like when I was growing up, I always paid attention to like who's the director. I'm like, who is this person? But as I got older and more like into actually making this stuff, I was like, well, writing is sort of like that's the building blocks of a film. Without a script, you'd just be rambling and doing nonsense, which I guess is some movies, but
Indeed.
you work hard in that sort of profession and you want to make like a script that's actually worth reading. People don't want to necessarily make trash, even if they do. To me, it's always best important.
That's typically the goal.
Well, for me, I always said like, you know, a script can start from like anywhere. I always tell people, they're always like, how do you write? And in short terms, one word at a time. It's like the Great Wall of China. How it was built one brick at a time.
Yeah.
Though I've heard you can see that thing from space, so I don't know how. But for me, like if you really want to do like a lot of screenwriting, like I did, just start with like something. It could literally just start with a word, and like a story can like really blossom from that. That's what I did with like all the scripts that I've written. Even if they're not like my best work, I've always seen them as like it started from something, and then it expanded.
That's awesome. I love to write. Well, we're both kind of writers in our own right.
Yeah, sometimes
Get it? In our own right.
No, he's doing weird laughs.
That's the Grinch. It's such. I know it's not the season for you, but anything past Halloween, it's Grinch laugh time.
Oh, okay. Little did I know what I was getting into today.
Yeah. So what kind of student was Jonah?
Oh my gosh, dream student.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Always had his work in on time?
He had his work in. Yeah. So when you're working on your thesis, it's an independent sort of process, and students sometimes believe in this myth called writer's block, which I think is another term for lazy.
It can be. It can be.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for me, like writer's block is when I don't know where to go. You know, I'm at a crossroads, which I actually am in my script right now. Yeah. And I don't know which way I want to go. So
that's a little day. I think Demisty, a fellow professor, always says there's no such thing as writer's block. Like, that's just an excuse.
Shout out to Misty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great professor.
Tag her.
Yes, absolutely.
I never got her class.
Oh, you should have taken her class.
I know.
Oh, so
She's the
good.
best. Yeah. She is.
And do you ever have writer's block?
Sometimes I find it like, sometimes it is sort of difficult to like know where you're supposed to go. Like you have this basic idea, but you don't always know like what a person's going to say in a scene. You really need to think about that. what I've always tried to do is Stephen King writes like 6 pages a day. So I try to do like that at least. And sometimes I'll go over. Rochelle can attest to that. Sometimes where I come and we're like, I had 10 more pages.
Yes.
But I always want to start off. You can start off like as small as you want. Nobody is really, unless it's like your real professional job, nobody's rushing you to be like, you have to have this in by this certain date. You can take all the time you want.
Unless you're in grad school.
That's true. It's always the point for me where I was like, I knew when deadlines were coming, but I also knew that I had enough time to like really process and write out what I was going to be making. Even for like my thesis script, I worked on it for so many months, and there were points in time where I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, is this the next scene? What am I going to be doing? Because I showed Rochelle that I first started off by writing out the details of all the characters, because you want to really like feel connected to them. Then I wrote out what's essentially the Wikipedia plot summary, and then like expanded from that. So I was really working with like, all right, like I know this scene is going to involve this, but what are the characters saying? What is their reaction in this scene?
Yeah, and you have to be true to your characters. A lot of the feedback I'm getting is not really understanding where my protagonist, I think the term was hot, she's hot and cold, and which is actually kind of what I was going for, but sometimes it doesn't read that way to other people. So for you, your process is developing the characters first and then the story?
Yes, I feel like the location that your script is in is itself sort of a character, but like when you talk about like human characters or alien characters, whatever's in your script that talks or interacts with others, you want to give them like sort of a distinct personality and really make it feel like you know this character, and you kind of do because you created them, but also in the way that you feel attached to them. You don't want to see them go down the road they go to because you know it's going to break your heart and it's going to break their heart. And the main character that I wrote in my thesis, she was a character I loved making because I knew what struggles she was going to go into, and parts of it like were really sad. She had a confrontation with her mother at one point in the script, and it was gut-wrenching, and writing it was really hard for me, but I worked through it and tried to make that scene the most like emotional that it could. Not to manipulate the audience, but to simply progress the story in a way I felt natural.
And how would you characterize him as a writer?
He's very diligent and listens to his characters. And I think a lot of times students don't quite understand what that means in terms of you have to get that the character has to exist outside of your own self in order for them to have their own voice and their own trajectory. And like you said, like you're like, oh, don't do this, but your character's doing it. And that's, you've got to go with them. And I think that Jonah was incredibly good at that, probably still is, but also very unique sensibility. I think that is worth noting. Like, comes to me and says he loves slapstick and wants to do like a slapstick film, and I'm just like, what? Wait, how old are you?
Yeah.
So he's 71.
Yeah, but he pulled it off.
Yeah.
And it like blew me away. It's like, it's very good. And it's not just slapstick for the sake of being slapstick. It actually works as slapstick. And I don't know that I could write slapstick. Like, it seems hard.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm like just naturally funny, but I don't know if I'm writing funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if I'm writing for someone, like for a character. I don't know. Yeah. But that's cool.
Yeah.
Slapstick.
And just really absurd things. Like, which I love. I mean, first of all, it's called Meanwhile in Downtown Vermont. So
Yeah.
that sort of clues you in right at the start that there's some funky here. And then it's I'm telling your script. I don't know why I'm telling your script.
Because you were the advisor.
Oh yeah, that's right. I read it.
You read all of it.
Yeah, but it's a future, but it's a strange future that has elements of kind of, I don't know, maybe Jetsons idea of a future.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I always said my biggest inspirations for it were the Hudsucker Proxy, the Coen Brothers movie, Brazil by Terry Gilliam, which it's one of my favorites because it really pokes into the fun of George Orwell's 1984, and a lot of works by Douglas Adams. I'm a big Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fan, and the absurdity in there I always felt was like, this could be translated well into something. And so like when it came to writing this script, I was like, what elements do I really want to pull from that? And I was like, this is a screwball comedy set in the future, dealing with childbirth. That is my movie.
Well,
And that actually, you should, I think you should give a little summary of the plot, just
Oh, yeah.
because it is so, yeah.
Yeah, so Meanwhile in Downtown Vermont is set in the fictional city of Caldernell, Vermont in 2040. It is about two scientists, Maggie Thompson and Roger Turkey, who have been collaborating on this idea of a new way for women to give birth in the future. But their obstacle, I guess, if you can even call it an obstacle, is the CEO of a former popcorn magnate industry. And those two, like, they connect so well together. Like, I know I'm patting myself on the back here, but it makes sense in context.
It does. It's so funny because he wants to make his own. He wanted the popcorn kernel to be the birthing thing.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
it didn't work out for him. And
There was a joke in there where he's like, well, my invention was like a person swallows a popcorn seed and the baby like grows in them. And they're like, well, the only effect was that they gave birth to a giant piece of popcorn. And they were like, yeah, but it tasted delicious.
Yeah, I remember that line.
well, for the first time ever, we are going to, instead of sharing a clip, we are actually going to do what's called a table read.
A table read, for those of you who don't know, is when we sit at a table and read a script. Each of us reading for a character.
It's not a PSA. Could have just said the words.
You're always like giving our audience things.
Yeah, I
definitions.
do. I do.
You don't want me to? I was too officious.
Yeah,
Is that what
no,
you're saying?
you're fine.
Yeah. What characters are we playing?
Yeah,
Who's who?
and set
Yeah,
this up.
who's-
And what are we doing?
Yeah.
I'm so
So,
excited.
Me too.
so this scene is set at a place I called the Spoon Bar. There was a bit before where it like had a neon sign that said Spoon Bar, but the P was like it dimmed out, so it just said Soon Bar. And so our main characters, Maggie and Roger, they've been brought into the fictional company of the movie, Track Point Enterprises, and they are having a drink with the main secretary, Mary, who I will say was my favorite character to write in the script. She's very fast-paced, she's talkative, very Rosalind Russell in His Girl Friday. She like has this good energy to her, and so she takes a liking to them. So in this scene,
I think I'm going to be Mary.
yeah. In this scene, it is set right after they've been brought in, and she's like, oh, you guys have like given your accomplishment, let's go get a drink. And so this is set later in the day, sort of at night, inside this bar, the Spoon Bar, if you will. Now, you'll be Mary. Would you like to be Maggie?
I would.
And would you like to be Roger?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I will read the action.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Here we go. Table read on the short of it.
Interior Spoon Bar later. Maggie, Roger, and Mary sit in a booth inside a dimly lit bar where everyone runs around and speaks loudly. Racks of spoons line the walls. The three of them talk to each other, blocking out the noise around them and drinking what's in front of them. Maggie has what appears to be a Guinness, Mary has a gin and tonic, and Roger has a jar of olives.
So that's when I decided to go to college, where I was about to
Wait a minute. You went to college?
Of course. Where else do you think I want to learn to be a secretary?
Is that something you can learn in college?
Mary puts her hand in her shirt and pulls out a license to be a secretary card with a picture of her when she was younger on it. In the picture, Mary is on the phone and drinking some coffee while scribbling notes on a page.
Sure is. I got a lot of degrees in it. An MD, PhD, a BA, and many more.
All for being a secretary?
You know, it takes a lot to be a secretary.
I hadn't noticed.
That's because people don't really pay us any attention.
Is being a secretary what you always wanted to do?
No, darling. I wanted to start a company.
A company? Well, what stopped you?
Mary takes a break, taking in a long gulp from her drink and then shaking her head to steady herself.
Got kind of bored. Didn't want to do all that work.
I'll drink to that.
I love that. I love the card.
I did like that.
The whole script was filled with like a lot of visual gags
Yeah.
that I was always like so proud of doing.
No, and that's great because, you know, when you're reading these and just to be able to like see that was very, very funny and very clever.
Thank you.
Yes, there were many times when I would be reading his pages and laughing out loud. That's the best. It's like, wow, this is my job.
So where do you want to take Meanwhile in Downtown Vermont?
Hopefully one day into a feature film. And I know that's sort of like, that's a big like leap, and I'm a screenwriter who's only had like small things under his belt, but I feel like this movie, in a world where like so many movies, I'm going to sound old when I say this, but I am 70, a bunch of sequels and remakes, you kind of do want some originality in there. And this definitely borrows from other stuff from like past movies. Even on the front page of the script, I said it was based on movies that were released before I was born. And I really felt like this was something that people would definitely be interested in. So when I decided, like, it's polished and, like, at a good place, so I'm going to submit this to some screenplay competitions, I got feedback a lot, and people were like, I find this really funny. And I did get on number 29 of the Hot 100 list of that.
Nice.
And more recently, I was a semi-finalist in the Big Apple Screenplay Competition.
Awesome.
Outstanding. Yeah.
So it's making traction, and I obviously don't think it's going to be like out there like anytime like very soon, but it is something that I have a lot of passion for. I could have easily just given up on this script and been like, I'll put it away for now, I'll do something else later. But something drew me to this, and I feel like there was a lot of work I felt needed to be in it. My first draft of this during the first session of thesis was 87 pages. I got that up to 118. Like, there was so many good like ideas in there that I knew to put in, and like with the suggestions Rochelle made, I was like, I'll see if this works, and I put it in, and it did work. I felt like it was a strong start into what I could really like do in my potential as a screenwriter, and having written a short film directed by V. And I was an executive producer on another short film. I haven't really done much besides then. I'd love to. I would love to be back on even like a smaller film set as any role. I could be I'm an actor too. I've acted in stage plays, and I'm very like capable of wanting to show myself out there more and give people the entertainment that maybe they want, maybe they deserve, or maybe both.
Yeah. I was just going to say, if you ever thought about expanding into different roles, but you said, you know, you've been in front of an audience, in front of a camera, and also as the executive producer. Any wanting to, why is the brick on?
Because it's my brick. Insecurity. Because I'm the brick master, and you wouldn't give me that credit in the film, and so therefore I have my brick.
Oh, you didn't get that credit?
No, she wouldn't give me a brick maker credit. Yeah.
Okay, there's a huge backstory, which you're going to be so bored about, so I'm not going to even tell you. Fine. I don't even know what. Oh, yeah. So, you know, any desire to direct, to produce?
So when I came to Fitchburg initially, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a director. I'm going to be behind the camera and in charge of all that stuff. And then I started taking film classes, and I was like, nope, that's not for me. I can't handle that much responsibility. But as a producer, I feel like you're not just giving yourself like an opportunity to have these products made, you're giving other people an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like that's what's really important here is if it's not just for you, it's for other people. You want to give people the sort of recognition that you think they deserve. You see the script of the film or even like a rough cut, you know, like there is something here and I really want to help you make this. So I've always like, in case anybody really like needs me on like any sort of role, I'm there for them. Because I want to see them succeed more than I want to see myself succeed, because people have success in them, and I see that a lot in them. I never want to look down on anybody's work. I've read bad scripts, obviously, but they're able to overcome that sort of stuff. And you can look back on an old script and be like, well, that was something at least. But I really feel like it's really good for people to write like anything from like a script to a play to a novel, just to see yourself really get in that position and have somebody take a look at it. And even if they don't see the full thing, they'll definitely see some aspect in there.
Yeah. How is V as a director? You don't have to look at him.
Don't.
Directly at me.
V is a good director. I remember the short film that we worked on together, Flicker. It was a very long production, I felt like, and I was not only the screenwriter, but I was also the editor. And editing was such a pain, but V helped me through it. One of our camera operator, Kira, was part of that, and she was great doing it. And I really felt like, while the film isn't perfect by any standards, no film really is, I still look at like parts of that and I'm like, we actually did that. We had a shot that, I forget if it was me or V that wrote in the script, where a character, the film is in black and white, but there's a part where they're drawing with a highlighter and they drop from the table when they pick it up. The highlighter's in color.
Oh, wow.
And I really like loved that image. And I'm like, that's something that I feel like works well. If you go to, I know it's like a dark subject, but with Schindler's List, there's the girl in the red coat. The contrast in color and black and white, I think really like helps those scenes work in their entirety.
I love black and white films. I like black and white photos. There is something, that contrast is so moving. I absolutely agree with you. Good Night and Good Luck was a film that was produced in black and white, produced by George Clooney, who we now have a 1 degree separation from. We do.
Oh, from Reitman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
See?
One thing
we
that
got street cred.
Period. We do. One thing that I really enjoyed about the writing for Flicker and how it kind of translated into the actual film is kind of the focus on color and light and darkness and how that kind of relates to our main character.
Yeah.
I think that the way that we use light and dark and color, I'm sorry, I think a lot of that came from Jonah's perspective. I didn't fart, guys.
He mouth farted.
It's called blowing raspberries. Does nobody know that anymore?
A raspberry?
Yeah.
No, it's mouth farting.
No.
But I did really like that aspect of Flicker a lot, and I really enjoyed shooting it with him.
No, yeah, I think when I look back at like some of my previous work, I'm always like amazed that like it actually got made. I remember because the class we were in for it, which was, I think it was Professor Sides. I remember he was reaching out to us like, do you guys like have an idea for a short film? I was like, I have an idea, I may as well present it. Not thinking like this isn't gonna get made, but then like people were actually interested, and I was like, am I in the Twilight Zone right now? This doesn't seem right.
Another good black and white series.
Very great. A big inspiration in writing for me, the works of like Rod Serling and David Lynch.
Right.
They really like helped me enforce because my scripts are very much like very different genre, but I obviously have like a creepy side in my scripts or something. I'm like, I can make this gross.
I was going to ask, like, how would you characterize your creative style? Is it horror? I know you do slapstick, but like, how would you?
I'm very much, I guess I would say, a jack of all trades. I remember earlier this year, I had the great position. This is actually sort of a little bit of a tangent, but this will connect. So last summer, I was feeling really bummed. So I was like, about my writing. I was like, I don't know how good this is, and maybe I shouldn't be a writer. Maybe I should just like do something else. And so I came across a podcast. So it was called "Are You Afraid of the Dark Universe?" So in 2017, there was a Mummy movie with Tom Cruise. It was meant to start a whole cinematic universe. And so these two people, Dylan Roth and Dalton DeShane, I love them. They created like a whole cinematic universe based on podcast episodes. And listening to all that, it got me reinvigorated in writing. I was like, because this is really good stuff. I was like, I want to make something like this. And now they're on a new show, Are You Afraid of the Pod Universe, which is more science fiction, and I'm loving that too. But because of that podcast, I got introduced to another one that was called, has to do with Spider-Man, I think. That was sort of continuing off a Spider-Man shared universe. I ended up creating a website for them. I made like a whole wiki for them. And they reached out and they were like, do you want to be on the show? And I was like, to pitch a movie. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. So in July, we recorded and came out my pitch for the movie, which was based on like a minor character. And I loved doing it. I'm going to be back on it sometime next year because they're on their phase 2 now. I'll be on phase 3. And every time I'm editing for them. I'm giving them a lot of good work. You know, Jarrett, Noah, and Peyton, they're all like really great guys. And I've loved talking to them. And so when it came to like me doing more writing, you know, I looked to that sort of thing. Like I'm able to write like sort of smaller stuff. And now I'm, you know, getting a little bit more recognition. People know who I am. They're enjoying the writing that I have. Even like I sent out the Meanwhile in Downtown Vermont script to my mother. I don't know if she's read it or anything, but she's very supportive of what I want to do because she always said like, what we want is for you to be happy because that's what a lot of parents want. And speaking as somebody who's not a parent, and God, I hope I'm not, you know, they... Yeah.
Hopefully you would know.
Breaking news.
I did. That happened in Fitchburg once. I was taking like a morning walk during the weekend, and it was like parents were coming in for like tours, and they saw me and was like, yeah, do you know where like the parking is? And I was like, yeah, I think it's down there. And they're like, cool. And they're like, are you a parent? And I was like, and I said, God, I hope not. I'm like, I don't look that old. I'm 23 now.
Well, you were 70.
I am.
Then.
I have Benjamin Buttons.
So what was one of your best experience about Fitchburg State? Because I talk a lot about FSU.
You do.
In great admiration and in great love for what the comm media department is doing there, and the amazing talent that's coming out of that program.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't know about it, check it out. Mm-hmm. Fitchburg State University is like, you know, Fitchburg, I don't even know where that is. Please check it out. It's
great film.
I definitely didn't.
It's a great film school. But what was great about your experience there? And talk about, like, is there anything that you would change about the program?
I mean, for me, like, when I was scouting out colleges, I heard Fitchburg had a film program, and I didn't really know if I was going to. I was like, I'm just going to go to Bridgewater. It's close enough to home. And I went there, and I was so impressed with the film program that immediately my parents knew, like, he's going here. And I think my favorite experience of it was, like, meeting people who, like, they understood me. Like, they saw me as more than just, like, somebody. Like, they saw me as a person. And it's, like, I always give credit to, like, my friends there, like Matt Messina, my friend Liam, Jonice, Jasmine, and then when I decided to act in the stage production of It's a Wonderful Life, I met this incredible group of people that I still love, and I still call them my family. You know, I love every single one of them. Just going to list them off quickly. You know, Alyssa, I'm always blanking, Chris, Johnny, Noah, Nick, Spencer, Marco, Gio, Lena, and Julia. Like, they're all so nice people, and I always, like, they always like helped me. Like they knew I was struggling under this. I have an anxiety disorder. So each night before like we started, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. This is really stressful. It was my first time as a main character. But they were like, you have this. And I did have it. And I still go to Fitchburg sometimes. I still text them because I love them. And I don't think I would be here sitting here today without them because I wouldn't have had the confidence enough to do it. And with the comm media department, I met a lot of great professors who were actually wanted to like read my work. They weren't just like, I'll get to it, just like whatever. And so like I felt honored in a way that I could talk to these people and they could understand me. I didn't have to feel like an outcast, and that's sort of how I felt in a lot of ways. But obviously, Rochelle was being a great professor and agreed to look over my writing.
She's the goat.
No.
You are.
And all the scripts that I've written there and the scripts that I'm going to continue to be writing in the future, you know, I owe it to Fitchburg. Fitchburg may not be the greatest college in the world, I would know because it's the only one I've been to, but it is certainly one that has changed my life, and I really want to change other people's lives because I see potential in people, and that's what I really want to give them. I want to see these people succeed in areas where I may not have, but I want them to try their hardest, and I try to give my hardest every day, including with writing, including with life. And I'm very thankful for the people out there who have given me a lot of that encouragement. And Fitchburg is certainly a very good place, was a very good place for me. And I still like going there. I still like seeing that campus and giving myself memories of times where I was just there. And I loved it. Like, obviously I have regrets about stuff. Like, I regret how my freshman year went. It wasn't the best. I was an anxious mess. I had people who didn't like me, who spread rumors about me. But I got to overcome that, and people got to see me for how I actually am. Because it's always, you need to have people look at you. My favorite fictional character is Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Come on.
And his quote always resonates with me. You never really understand someone until you start to see things from their point of view. And I always see that in people. Living as a openly queer man, you know, it's tough sometimes, but I always know I have people who are looking out for me. And while I may not be the best person in the world, I certainly try to be my best.
Yeah. I'd say you're a pretty good guy. Yeah.
That is just beautiful.
Yeah.
I may not be the best person in the world, but I try my best every single day. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jonah, first of all, if you're listening to this podcast and you were thinking about film school and you just heard this testimony, reach out.
Please go.
Please go.
It's such a nice school.
Yeah. It is. And it is small enough that it's manageable, but it's powerful enough that your first semester there, you're actually working on films. Like, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
And send us money for supporting Fitchburg State.
I just thought it was for snacks.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say for booze.
Where do you see yourself in this crazy career of filmmaking?
I'd like it to become something big. I'd like to be, a bigger screenwriter and have more influence on like smaller projects or even bigger projects. But again, as long as I'm entertaining at least one person, I am doing my job. I'm giving people all the confidence they need that I want to give them. If I could give advice to just anybody out there, is like, it's not the end of the world. Like, you're going to get rejections. It's going to suck. You're going to feel bad about it. But as long as you are like committed to yourself and committed to what your work is, then you are at a good place in your life. It may not seem like it. It may seem like darkness, but it's not all darkness. There's glimmers of hope in there. Like, there is light. It's your job to find it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even know.
I feel inadequate now.
I really do. Like, we don't give that kind of advice to anyone.
No, I should be a motivational speaker.
Yeah, you should
Telling
actually.
you, you're
Yeah,
motivating me right now.
yeah, you could have like a side gig.
Or a cult leader.
Yeah, that too.
And you know what? I join.
Yeah, there's probably more money in the cult leader thing.
Give me money.
Yeah, Jonah, I think you're great. And
Thank you.
were we in any classes together?
I don't know if
I
we
don't
were.
think we were.
I feel like I
saw
would have
you.
remembered you.
Yeah, and I saw you all the time, mostly in Rochelle's office, who was also my advisor on my film. So we have that in common, and I can tell you my experience wasn't as lovely as yours.
I was very mean to Tony. Just like hit her and stuff. I had a stick called the Tony stick. Oof, whenever she come up with this stupid idea, I'm like,
I thought you were gonna say it was. It reminded me of like The Menu, like the Ray Fiennes movie, where he's like, "Would you like my position?" He's like, "No, sir."
Oh my gosh.
I'm not that clever. I wish I were.
I want you to be more.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in your filmmaking journey. We want you to come back,
course.
especially when, meanwhile in Downtown Vermont starts to go into production, and we are great PAs.
Oh,
so
cool.
please, we're great.
We'll PA.
We
for
will.
free.
We don't sit around
Yes.
and drink
Nope.
coffee and talk about people and put our feet up on other people's furniture.
Nope, none of that stuff.
We don't do any of that. We're actually pretty awesome. But we have our list, our stipulation.
Yeah.
We don't carry anything over 10 pounds.
Oh, neither do I. I break my back.
We must have a bathroom break every 20 minutes.
Everybody else gets the outhouse. You guys get like this pristine trailer ridden in.
Exactly. And we must be warm at all times.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
really
I need to
important.
be warm, yeah. Especially around this time of year.
Yes.
It's awful.
But thank you for coming by. You're great, and
course.
where can people find you, find your work, follow you, do all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram. I'm Jonah_Pishkin. I usually post like small vignettes, but I do post about my writing sometimes. I'm on Facebook, which is sort of how I discovered the show, and I was like, I should be on this.
Yes.
And if you want to hear my opinions about movies, I'm on Letterboxd. I have an account. I'm just Jonah Pishkin there.
Okay.
Every time I watch a movie, I log it. I'm like, I want to give my thoughts to these people. And sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to bother. This was bad.
What's the last good movie you've seen?
So I was at the theaters yesterday. It was a double feature. I saw The Running Man, which was so good. I was already anticipated, but I was like, this was so good. And I saw Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Oh dear.
And for once, I'm surprised they actually made me care about this franchise.
Really?
Like you made me
hate
care.
that French.
Oh, it's so bad. I'm
Yeah.
like, you made me care.
What? Really?
How did you do this? But I'm still pissed off that the second film was Now You See Me Too and not called Now You Don't. The only way they can rectify is they're making a fourth film. You call it Now You See Me, Now You Don't Too. I did want to give out just a quick few shout outs to some people who I know will be watching. My mom, Rebecca, my dad, David, my sister, Kaylee, my brother-in-law, Kyle, my grandmother, Anne, who's very supportive of me. Obviously, the people who inspired me to write, Dalton DeShane and Dylan Roth. My Spider-Man friends, my Spider friends, Jarrett, Peyton, and Noah. My It's a Wonderful Life family. They know who they are, and I already listed them before. My best friend Ivory, who continues to help me in my writing. My friends Matt, Liam, Jonice, Jasmine, you guys are all so incredible. I want to thank you so much for sticking with me. So many other people I'd love to name. Julia, there's one. You guys help me so much. You inspire me every day to be the best I can, and I know I'm not the best person, but I definitely try my best to be.
Nice.
Wow, Jonah, you're very inspiring, and you seem to have a huge heart, and don't ever lose that, because you're
legit.
It really is. I can feel the genuineness
I'm
coming.
like the Grinch. I have such a dark side, but I'm like, your heart's incredibly big. And I'm like, oh, that's such a Christmas miracle. One day they're gonna be like, this is terminal. And I'm like, oh.
Oh my gosh.
But so many people, like, I love them. They love me, hopefully. Sometimes they're just like, be quiet for once, man. But they give me strength, and I want to give them all that I can.
It's kind of like us.
Totally.
Yeah.
Except we have a sort of underhanded way of doing it.
We do.
We just mock each other.
We do.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I do that
like
all the
this
time.
Yeah.
Stupid thing.
Dominique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Come
on back.
I will,
We'd love to
yes.
have you
Please
back
do.
on.
I'm going to continue watching this.
Oh,
this
thanks.
show, I remember watching like episodes and seeing like so many people, including people I went to college with. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're still doing good. And I'm really glad for them. Like, I'm proud of them.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And now they can be proud of you too.
And
Yes,
they'll be
and
like, who are you?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All
Well, they'll
right.
know when this movie gets made.
That's right.
I'd
That's
love
right.
for it too. I am working on more scripts. I talked about it like when I was last like in college my semester. Oh, Lisa, who I worked at WRPS with during my internship, such an amazing person. I got to record some radio PSAs talking about mental health that aired,
cool.
and they were so fun to do. She's such a great person. But I remember my last time I was on campus, I talked about another script I was writing called Palindrome. That is currently still happening. I'm writing it. I'm writing the first of 2 novels. I have like it all planned out. And yeah, we'll really see where my work takes me.
Yeah.
Keep writing.
Keep writing.
Keep
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
Jonah Pishkin, thank you so much
Yep.
for coming
Absolutely.
on.
Thank you.
That was that's inspiring.
It is.
What a great
Yeah.
feeling type of
Yeah.
person. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can't really
Yeah.
we got to do better.
I can't. This is the way I am.
You're only 31. You have time to change.
Nope. I'm
No,
set
you're
in my
set.
ways. Done.
Well, we do other things well.
Yeah.
We may not love the world as much as Jonah does, but
Yeah.
we,
Yeah. I'm aspiring.
yeah, there you go.
Aspiring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Yeah. Maybe.
Oh my gosh! Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Shout out Marjorie Taylor Greene.
We're not supposed to be political.
Like, if Marjorie can change, anyone can change.
And that's the short of it.
Oh, it sure is.
The short of it is brought to you by the Den Beauty Lounge. Visit thedenbeautylounge.glossgenius.com for more information and book your appointment today.